Hey everyone, welcome to Reddit Readout. Today we are checking out I Do Work Here Lady. Story 1. Don't catcall strangers at your apartment complex. I do work here, lady. Right after college I F22 moved home to run the daily operations of my parents' business. They own some apartment complexes that were fully furnished and rented on weekly or monthly basis. Our usual tenants were traveling doctors and nurses or oil and gas guys. One of our complexes had half-furnished units like this and half-unfurnished normal apartments that are on a standard lease. I was in charge of all of the day-to-day payroll, scheduling maintenance and cleaning, showing units, paying bills, collecting rents, etc. It was my second week there and I was still learning who our long-term tenants were. I was standing by my car in the parking lot about to leave when one tenant M32 drives by and yells at me from his car, "Damn girl, you got a fat ass." I was pretty shocked at how brazen he was, so I just got in my car and left. I could see him watching me drive away too. I told my parents and maintenance about what happened and one of our maintenance guys had to tell him, in front of his GF, that I was the new property manager and if I had any more issues with him then I would evict them. Story 2. Federal work study issues. I do work here. I do work here, lady. So, I hope this belongs in this subreddit and I've never posted before, so I hope this is okay. I originally was hired as a federal work study, FWS, in the financial aid department of the community college I worked for, and still do, for 2 years until I was hired on full-time as an administrative assistant. At this community college, it is a come one come all type of deal. We literally accept anyone, and don't process federal loans, just grants, scholarships, and sponsorships, gift assistance/aid. I was passionate about my job and it actually led me to the career I am in now and it totally helped. I had a rad boss. After I was hired full-time, I would still answer the phones for customer service assistance, which is what many of the FWS at that time normally did, so it was typical for when you called the college to get one. Not all FWS cared about their positions or were even held accountable in other departments, as well as mine, so it was common for individuals to become upset over the phone and ask to speak to the real financial aid advisor. I had gotten my fair share of these when I was one and I told someone something that they didn't like or refused to tell them due to FERPA laws. One day, after I was hired full-time and received my first college degree, I received one of these phone calls from an irate parent and student. Both were on the phone talking over each other. This was some years ago, so I don't remember who said what, but I will do my best to get as close as possible to the verbiage used. Some I remember very clearly. "OP, I'm sorry, but I can't disclose that information over the phone due to FERPA laws, but I'm happy to send the information to the secure student email." Caller: C. No. You student workers don't know anything, and don't know what you're talking about. You don't have any college education and just sit around all day doing nothing. OP, I'm sorry you feel that way, but I am actually a full-time employee with a salary, not a student worker. I'm sorry you've had bad experiences in the past, but I cannot jeopardize my job or the college funding by releasing information that is protected by FERPA to an unknown source. C. Well, you obviously don't have enough education to know anything you can and will tell me about why I can't receive financial aid. I'm sick and tired of this. You're lying. I know you are a student. No one ever answers the phone that isn't. OP, I'm sorry you feel that way. Those individuals that you are mentioning are the people that work files, which have a bachelor's degree or above usually. I'm happy to transfer you to if you'd prefer to speak with one of them. However, I cannot guarantee that they will answer. They may be with a student. C. I knew you were a student worker. Yes. Transfer me. Keep in mind, I had 3 associate's degrees, 6 years of schooling, but alright lady, malicious compliance 2XD. I proceeded to transfer them to the one individual, after giving them their name, phone number, and email, of someone I knew that was even stricter with information than I was. Literally no answers. No, I cannot disclose that. No, I will not, etc. I was mistaken for a student worker many times, but that's one I remember specifically. Story 3. Should we tell staff? I do work here, lady. For first context, I am the lady in this situation. I'm a semi-regular at a local sports bar for their weekly trivia nights, and this was the last one before the holidays, and it had the theme of ugly sweater. I am dressed in such attire and I take a break to use the restroom, which is on the other side of the place. I get there, and just as I'm approaching the restroom door with urgency, I'm stopped and warned that there's 2 out-of-order stalls in the ladies' room and it smells bad with workers trying to take care of it. I admit I'm not paying attention to what the nice lady is wearing and say, "Oh, thank you." And as I'm pondering if I should run into the men's room because I still have to go, I look to the lady who is walking by me again and say, "Should we tell a staff member?" This poor lady looks at me and goes, "I'm staff, that's why I warned you about the restrooms." I apologize and she keeps walking, and I do risk the smell in order to use one of the working stalls as it was an emergency, but I was the lady and sadly, by the time I left, the staff had blocked off the bathrooms entirely while they waited for plumbers to come to the building. EDA, I didn't realize I was being confusing here, but in the terms of this post, I was the patron, or lady in this situation who was told by a member of staff that they did, in fact, work there. The worker told me that they work there, and all was well. Story 4. Righteous Grandma is almost right. I do work here, lady. Apparently I posted this to the wrong group. I didn't know this was the place. I'm a filmmaker and occasional actor in Oakland, California, which if you saw the film Fruitvale Station by Ryan Coogler you get some idea of the city and location. Some tough sections, heavily Africa-American city with a commuter rail system. A friend wants to make a film including a scene some AA young ladies getting hassled by a racist. I fit the look of a blue-collar mega head. The day comes to film, we're at the BART station and I'm wearing my costume. The director calls, action. The girls are grooving to a boombox, and I come up the steps. It's improv, and I'm playing the character as a tired guy coming home who has no patience for any young people shit, but holding back my worst language for later in the scene. We get a couple of takes in, and start to trust each other as actors to know we can really let loose. We start going at it, building a conflict, and it's escalating. I'm in character and getting pissed. Then we hear, "Oh hell, no." And a grandmother comes charging across the parking lot dragging a little girl. She gets between me and the young ladies and verbally starts laying into me, telling me to leave them alone, get out of here, she going to call the cops, etc. I'm in the zone and all riled up. I start yelling back at her that I'm an actor, this is part of a scene, go away, and I start punching a metal sign, because I'm all pissed off. The AD comes over trying to calm her down, then the director, but she's not having any of it. She's so upset, she wants me arrested for hassling the young women. Then the young women try to calm her down. I've had to step back. Finally she calms down enough to see she's surrounded by a crew with cameras, boom pole, clipboards, etc. She's embarrassed, but wants to justify her actions. Finally she and the kid go to the trains. I reset, we all reset, laugh and continue the scene. I honor her instincts, but wish she had better sense. I never saw a final cut, but would love to have those outtakes. TLDR, I'm verbally attacked by a person who doesn't realize I do work there, and she's stepped onto a film set. Story 5. I am the train operator, sir. I do work here, lady. Insert obligatory English not first language and on mobile excuse here. This happened a few months ago during the €9 ticket era. For those of you not familiar with it, here in Germany we had a ticket valid for all public transportations for 3 months after the gas prices exploded due to the war in the Ukraine. €9 for a month worth of transportation via bus and trains. Needless to say our trains were up to their limits. This occasion was no different. The train I previously operated was late due to the amount of passengers at each station along with technical difficulties. Doors had malfunctions. Our trains have a safety mechanism where we can't take off until the computer received the electric signal that the doors are shut. Easy fix, but doing it at every station due to people leaning against it sucks. So I was about 5 minutes late for the next trains I had to take over. As I rushed over to get to said train, I noticed it was full to its limits too. The problem now is, we can only get into the operator cabin by going through the passenger cabin. After a long sigh, I pushed the little green button at the door to get in. A wall of passengers greeted me with annoyed and angry looks. The following conversation, not verbatim but close enough, ensued. Note: I was wearing my full uniform along with my orange high-visibility vest. Me is me. AG is angry guy. Me, excuse me, I need to get in. AG, train's full, take the next one. Me, no can do. This train isn't going anywhere without me in it. AG, not getting the hint, train's full, fuck off. Me, sir, I mean it. Let me in or this train stays here. AG, still not getting it and now yelling fuck you. Take the next train. This one's full. Now go away before I break your nose. At this point I looked at him and give a nod, stepping back from the train and calling my dispatcher. His word: well, if you are still there in 30 minutes I will mark the train as out of service. About 5 more minutes went by with me standing outside the train before the door opens. An angry guy looked out calling for me, probably because he finally noticed my uniform. I stepped over. AG, hey, the operator isn't here. Where is he? Me, oh, he is here. AG, where? The cabin is empty. Me, I am the operator, sir. AG, why the hell didn't you say that? Me, sir, I told you the train isn't going anywhere without me. Plus after you threatened me I didn't feel comfortable talking to you anymore. Now if you would kind step out along with all the people in front of the cabin door so I can get in and we can take off, I would appreciate it. He didn't say anything else. He and about 12 other people had to step out. I finally got in and we left the station with a 13-minute delay. Edit: to clarify a few things. This wasn't in Berlin. It was in a more rural area here in Germany. It wasn't with the DB, but a smaller company. Was it petty? Yes. Honestly, for 3 months straight we dealt with all kinds of people. Being yelled at constantly. It took a toll on all of us. Was it an asshole move? Maybe. Unprofessional? No, I am not required to tell people who I am. I wore my uniform identifying me as a member of my company. Rules dictate that passengers have to follow orders given by members of staff. Be it operators or service or maintenance staff. Once the threat was spoken I wasn't required to talk to that AG at all. Did I get in trouble? No. Company is on my side. That's all for today. Please don't forget to like and subscribe.